Hey guys, Neely here, and I am coming in for a long overdue update. I think the last time I talked to you was about 2.5 weeks ago when we were first starting the 1 week fitness blender challenge, and we did that. It's me and 3 other gals, and we finished that up, and that was really fun. And then we started right into our 8-week challenge that we're doing together, and we're now in week 2 of that. So that is going really well, but I did not come on to talk about that too much because I have something more exciting to tell you about. And I'll just go ahead and tell you that we found out yesterday that we are expecting baby number 4 coming in July next year. So I am super excited about it, and I really would like to do a pregnancy vlog. I have never done that before. I haven't done a lot of journaling through my pregnancies, which I wish I had done more because it's so nice to be able to look back and you think you're going to remember all these things, but then you just don't. And so I definitely want to get that stuff down, and doing it through a vlog and sharing it with you guys would just be fun and a good keepsake for me. So just a fair warning that this is now turning into a pregnancy vlog. I am going to be talking about THM and talking about diet and health and nutrition and all that relates to you know, pregnancy and everything, but I definitely am going to talk a lot about the pregnancy, and I am going to be sharing details and stuff that are not for the faint of heart. So be forewarned, if you're a guy, you probably do not want to listen, and if it's just not something you're interested in, then just click it off. That is totally fine. I know that pregnancy vlogs are for a very specific audience, so I won't be offended if you guys aren't watching me, but I hope some people will find it enjoyable and follow along on this fun 9-month journey. So I'll kind of tell you a little bit about finding out and testing and everything. We had been trying for 7 months, and by, like, you know, 5 or 6 months in, I was getting pretty discouraged because we had gotten pregnant very quickly with our first 2. We got pregnant in the first month, and then Ruthie, baby number 3, it took 4 months, and then so when we were going on 4, 5, 6, 7 months of trying to conceive, I was pretty discouraged and kind of worried about, you know, what's wrong with me? Am I getting too old for this? I mean, I'm 30 years old. Does something change when you turn 30 and you can't get pregnant anymore? Yeah, I just had to kind of work through that and, you know, give it to God and realize that my timing is not His timing, and I can do everything perfect, but it's still God who, you know, creates life and knits the baby together in my womb. So I had to, you know, release that, and was still working on releasing it and being okay with it, and then bang, we find out we're pregnant. So that was very exciting. But my period was due on the 30th of October, and the 30th, like a couple days before that, I had very typical PMS symptoms like cravings and just kind of not ever feeling satisfied, and then I started getting some cramps, and I don't usually get cramps, which I was kind of curious about, but I was like, it just feels like my period is about to start. And it felt so much like my period was about to start that I was like, that's it. It's not gonna happen this month either. I'm done, you know, and I was like, ugh, you know, just accepting it. And then the 30th came, and it just felt like my period was gonna start. Very strong cramps, which is unusual. And then it was like my period's gonna start any second. I just know it's gonna start any second, and then it just didn't. And then, so I started testing after that, and I was still getting negative on the pregnancy test, and I was trying so hard not to get my hopes up because I was like, my period's just gonna start anytime, and it's just, I can't get excited because it's just gonna start anytime. But like every day is like, no, it still hasn't come, and all the symptoms went away, so it was like, now it doesn't feel like it's gonna start. Like I skipped my period, but I'm still not getting positive pregnancy tests. And it actually took until yesterday, which was November 3rd, to get a positive, and so that's 4 days late. My period was 4 days late before I got a positive, which I looked back, and I guess on my first, I was 9 days late before I actually got a positive on that one, so I had forgotten about that. But yeah, they make such a big deal on the pregnancy test packaging that 99% accurate from the day of your missed period, blah, blah, blah. But that is some kind of a marketing loophole where they're able to say that when it's not really true and blah, blah, blah. So, anyways, I eventually did get my hopes up, and then they were confirmed. So yesterday morning I got my first positive on the pregnancy test. It was very faint, but it was definitely there. And then I took another test in the afternoon, and it was a little darker, and so it's definitely for sure. And I calculated the due date, and July 8th will be when this baby is due. And it's so funny how all of a sudden, since I got a positive pregnancy test yesterday, I can already feel today the symptoms, the pregnancy, like I feel pregnant already. And I don't think it's all in my head, which it is possible that it's just, you know, now that I know for sure, I'm like feeling all these things. But I definitely, like I got the PMS bloating like normal, but then it hasn't gone away. So it's like I'm not having pain or anything like cramps, but it's just like my stomach is already distended, like I'm already looking pregnant. But it's just like I had the Tom bloat, and then it just stayed, and now it's pregnancy bloat. So that's interesting. Definitely, I think I'll be showing really quickly because this is baby number 4 and my body just knows what it's doing, and it's just gonna pop right out, which is fine. It is funny how having the pregnancy makes my not flat stomach, like I don't care about it anymore. Like before I would, you know, pass a mirror and see my stomach sticking out if like I was bloated or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, my stomach isn't flat, and I'd be disappointed, and you know, kind of that self I don't know, talking bad about myself to myself, you know. And now it's like I pass a mirror and I see my sticking out tummy, and it looks the same as it, you know, would before any other period. But now I'm like, oh, I have a baby in there. And it's just, it's very eye-opening to like how we treat ourselves, and you know, how you can have, you know, disdain for how you look in one aspect, and then because of this one thing changing, having a baby, all of a sudden I have love for my body in a different way, which, so I'm, you know, thinking about all those things as they come up. But anyways, other symptoms, I have been feeling a little bit of the fatigue already today. I had to take a nap this afternoon. I was just feeling tired, even though I got my workout in this morning. Usually, you know, you get your workout in and then you have a little more energy throughout the day, but today I still, by like 12:30, I had to take a nap. And it was fine, but yeah, usually with my pregnancies, it's like between 10 a.m. and noon, I like have to take a nap or else I'm just gone. So that already happened today, so we'll see if that continues. Oh, today also I have been hungry. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm a lot more in tune with my hunger, just from the work that I've done this last year on, you know, diet and you know, focusing on, you know, my hunger signals and stuff rather than just whatever diet I'm supposed to be sticking to. So it's like I'm super hyper aware of like my hunger, and I have been hungry like every 2 to 3 hours, like really hungry, not just a little bit. And then also I noticed that whenever I eat, it's like I have a very obvious full point where I just can't go above it. It's like I'm eating, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm done. I cannot eat. And it's like I go from hungry to full really quickly. So I'm not eating a ton at each meal, but I'm really hungry, and then I'm really full right when I hit that point. So that's interesting. So those are the symptoms that I've kind of noticed so far, and that I'm just noticing, keeping my eye out and seeing what happens. Just very interested to see how my body does throughout this pregnancy. And with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about my past pregnancies and my weight obsession, being kind of on the diet train throughout pregnancies, which has wreaked a lot of mental and emotional havoc in my life. And as I have been thinking about this pregnancy and thinking about how I haven't been weighing recently, and like, should I weigh, you know, and see, you know, how I gain and stuff. And I just had this like glorious thought of what would it be like if I went through this pregnancy and did not care about my weight. Like, it was like the heavens opened up and like angels sang and light shone down and everything. And I was like, wow, that would be incredible. And actually my very first pregnancy 10 years ago, it was very much like that. I had just been on the Atkins diet and lost a bunch of weight, but I wasn't in the crazy diet train yet. Like, that was my very first diet, and I was mentally, I was still not in that space. And then with my second, I got pregnant right after I hit my goal weight with my first round of HCG. So I got down to 135 pounds, or actually I got down to 131 pounds, something like that, 130-ish pounds. And that was like my ultimate goal weight. And I was super thrilled. And then it was like a month after that I got pregnant, and I gained weight really fast, because a lot of reasons, pregnancy plus, you know, not doing P3 the right way, and like viewing my weight loss the same as weight I had lost in the past, which I lost in a very different way, where I wasn't so sensitive to gaining afterwards. And so weight came on really, really fast. And I was, that was, as far as mentally being in a really bad place as far as diet mentality, that was probably my worst. And then after that, trying to lose that baby weight, that's after that pregnancy is when I started my vlog first, and did some rounds of HCG on my vlog. But I was in a pretty bad place just because I had just gotten to my goal, and I, you know, got a lot of self-worth from that. And, you know, I felt like I had conquered, and then I wanted to get pregnant, and I was happy to get pregnant, but I was hoping that I wouldn't, you know, gain a whole bunch of weight. But I ended up gaining all my weight back, and then having the baby, and then doing round after round after round of HCG. I got down to 140 pounds, but then it didn't stay. And so I never got back to my 130 pounds, even with HCG again, after my baby was born. And that was like the worst diet roller coaster I have been on in my whole life. And then by the time I got pregnant with number 3, I was back up at like 165 pounds. And then I got pregnant with her, and I actually had a lot better pregnancy as far as diet mentality. I let go of a lot of things and didn't, you know, I wasn't in the binge and purge cycle during that whole pregnancy, and it was actually a lot better. But I did still struggle. And then after I had her, trying to get the baby weight off, and then kind of going up and down with all different kinds of diets and stuff, and never really fully getting it off. And then now I'm starting this pregnancy at about 160 pounds. So I'm starting it very close. But what I have noticed is no matter where I start in my weight in pregnancy, every time I have ended up between 180 and 185 pounds at the end of my pregnancy, like right before I deliver. And so, like, even with my first pregnancy, where I started at 150 pounds and I didn't care about my weight and I was totally free of that, I got to about 185 pounds. With my last 2, I obsessed and tried to control and tried to keep the weight down, and did everything I could to manipulate it. 185 pounds both times, between 180 and 185. I think with my last I was a little bit lower than with my second, but it's like my body wants to be 180 to 185 pounds when it's finished with the pregnancy, and no matter what I do, I feel like I can't control it. So I had this mental awakening, I don't know, this light bulb moment where I was like, what if I didn't care about my weight? What if I didn't worry about what the midwife was gonna say when she saw that I'd either not gained weight or gained a bunch of weight, like that month or whatever? And like how freeing would that be to have a pregnancy where I didn't focus on the number and I only focused on how my body felt and like my symptoms, and like, you know, feeling the amazingness of a baby growing inside of me and like just focusing on that and not even worrying about the scale. And it's just like there's this little voice in my head that's like, no, 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 you need to watch, you need to pay attention, because you might need to, you know, tweak something, or you might, you know, you might start gaining and you need to do something about it. But then I'm like, that's stupid. That is so stupid. And no matter how much I try, I'm not going to be able to, you know, really change things anyway, because my body is very smart, and my body will do what it needs to do to protect my baby, even if mentally I'm not wanting to do that. Like, it'll force me to binge if I am restricting unnecessarily. And so yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot yesterday and today since I found out, and I really think that I am going to put the scale away for this pregnancy, which is like the last two pregnancies, I couldn't even imagine having done that. Like I couldn't have done that. Like, my husband even asked me during the last pregnancy if I could do that, like not worry about it. And I was like, no, I have to monitor it. I have to. And he's like, okay. But yeah, I feel like I'm at such a different place now that I can put the scale away and not care, and just trust that my body will do what it needs to do to take care of my baby, and that I know enough information and enough nutrition information and diet stuff that I can make healthy choices and I can eat, you know, well. It's not like I'm gonna have to, you know, tweak something because I've gained 10 pounds in a week. Like, I know what I need to do. I know how to eat, and I know how to be healthy, and I know how to listen to my body. So I am going to do that. And I'm not saying like it's a rule that I will never weigh myself, but I'm just kind of gonna go into this with an attitude of freedom where I don't have to. Like, before it was like I had to, and I was a slave to it, and I needed to know the number, and I feel like I'm totally free from that now. So this video is really, really long, and you guys can tell I'm really, really excited. So if you've listened this far, thank you. And I am planning on continuing with this pregnancy vlog throughout the duration. I definitely want to do at least weekly, and kind of whenever I feel like it beyond that. And I will be talking about THM while I'm doing this, and how it's going for me, and what I need to do to tweak it, as far as getting my diet the way it needs to be, or, you know, feeling healthy throughout the pregnancy. Yeah, if I need to tweak it at all. And so yeah, I think I will probably leave it there. I think I've jabbered on enough. But I hope you guys are all doing great. And oh, I have not made this public yet. So if you're friends with me on Facebook, please do not say anything on my Facebook page. And yeah, just wait until I make the announcement. Hopefully it won't be too long. I don't like to wait. Like, some people will wait through their whole first trimester to make it public on Facebook or whatever, but I don't like to do that. I like to tell everybody as soon as possible. But we do want to tell family first and everything. So anyways, that's it. I hope you guys are doing great, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.